the greatest damage you do is not with actions. Most people are not ruining their lives because of wrong actions. They are doing so because of wrong choice of words. They do so because wrong contemplation of thoughts. Most people are upset or sad or depressed not because somebody is beating them, not because somebody is saying bad things to them, just because they can't let go. They are thinking about the past, they are thinking about the present, they are thinking about the future, they are thinking about other people who've got absolutely no connection even. Even those who have never met you, those who haven't got the foggiest idea about you, those who know absolutely nothing about you, will have an opinion about you just based on maybe your nationality, your color, your race, your religion, your orientation, your preferences, anything. Now, how foolish does it sound to allow yourself to be bothered by what goes on in one's head? It's his private space or her private space. They can think whatever they want. There was a rabbi, he was very fond of a certain friend of his. So one day a man approached the rabbi and said, well, you're very fond of him. There are a lot of other people too, but why him? He said, well, I've known him for 30 years. He's my best friend because never once he has come to me and said, such and such person was saying this thing about you. Because if I meet you and I say, well, so and so person was saying this about you, it doesn't solve any purpose, does it? It's other person's opinion about you expressed behind your back, which means chances are it's not even true. Those who don't even have the courage to tell you who you are or how you are in your face, what will they have to say behind your back? That's immaterial. One of my principles in life is to never react on any information that is not passed on to me directly. If you tell him something, even though it may be about me, it's not for me. If it was for me, you would have told me directly. If it's for the other person, we don't know the context at that time. Sometimes people have this pressure to agree. If sometimes you're talking bad about me and the person says, absolutely, I totally agree with you. Sometimes he or she is doing that out of social pressure. They don't mean to. So the worst thing you can do is react based on information that you haven't received directly. And when you do get a direct information, at that time you have the choice, the option to reflect on it and make a decision accordingly. So choice of words is the most important thing. And on that note, I would really like to tell you a conversation that took place between Buddha and another person who was a prince called Abhay. There was a man called Nigranth. In Pali language was called Niganth, but his name was Nigranth. Belonging to a different religion, he was against Buddha. He said Buddha, is not what he seems. He's a smooth talker. So one day, in Niganth's presence, there was another man called Devdatta. So Buddha almost shouted at this man. Now this was very unlike of Buddha. He spoke very harsh and bitter words to this man. He said to Devdatta, you will go and burn in hell. Now, Nigranth was a witness to this, and he quietly left that place. And Prince Abhay was due to visit Buddha. He said to Prince, go ask Gautam, does he ever speak harsh and bitter words? If he says, yes, I do, then tell him, how are you any different compared to any other normal being? Because we too express our anger. We too speak harsh and bitter words when we're upset. So you do the same, so stop preaching. And if he says, no, I don't do that, then you tell him you're lying because you did that with Devdath. So clearly you're no different than any of us because you lie to save yourself like we do. And he will be caught for sure. So Prince Abhay goes to Buddha and says, "O sage, can I ask you a question?" Buddha nodded, "Go ahead." He said, "Do you ever speak harsh or bitter words?" And Buddha said, "Prince, there is no categorical yes or no answer for this question. There is no absolute yes or no answer to this question." And the prince was quiet because he had no recourse to this answer. He wasn't expecting this. But then Buddha continued. He said, "I will tell you how the Tathagata chooses his words though." The Tathagata he used to refer to him as the Tathagata himself as a third person all the time. The Tathagata has certain principles based on which he chooses his words. And now comes the most important learning. When I first came across this sutra, I can't even begin to tell you how much I loved it. And if you just reflect on it, it's not that hard to follow. So in 5 parts, Buddha says, in the case of the words, Prince, in the case of the words that are untrue, unfactual, unbeneficial, unendearing, and disagreeable to the other person. So the words are not true, they are not factual, they are not beneficial, they are not endearing to the other person. The other person does not even agree with you. The Tathagata does not say such words. Half the time, people are saying things that they have no clue whether it's true or untrue, factual or not factual, fiction or it's beneficial, not beneficial. They're just saying it. Like a dog, you go up to a dog, if he's happy, he'll wag his tail, if he's not, he'll bark. It's just so instinctive that most people don't even realize what all they are saying, They say if you listen to yourself, what you are saying, and listen to the other person when they are saying, half your problems will be solved. I meet so many people every year or every month or every day for that matter, and half the people are not listening to you. They will ask a question, but they're not listening to the answer. They are just waiting for you to finish so they can start talking what they already have going on in their minds. You can't help such people. So in the case of the words that are untrue, unbeneficial, non-factual, and unendearing, and disagreeable, the Tathagata does not say those words. But in the case of the words that are true, factual, unbeneficial, unendearing, and disagreeable, the words are true, the words are factual, but it's of no benefit to the other person. The other person is not going to gain any insight if you say those words, if you choose those words, and they don't even like to hear what you're about to tell them, they don't want to hear it, and they don't even agree with you. When you choose words, if we were to think, is it going to benefit the other person? If somebody is short or too tall, and we say, well, you're too short, you're too short. The words are true, factual, but how does it benefit the other person? Does it? It doesn't benefit them. And maybe they don't think they're that short, right? So they don't agree, they don't even like to hear it. But in the case of the words that are true, factual, beneficial, but unendearing and disagreeable. Now the words are true, the words are beneficial, the words are factual, but the other person doesn't want to hear them. They're unendearing, and they don't agree with either that what you're saying is right. But the words are true, factual, and beneficial. The Tathagata has a proper sense and time for saying such words. A proper sense of time for saying such words. And imagine you go to a party, a social gathering, and you've got your family with you, you've got your daughter or son, and they don't study too much, let's say. You want them to study hard or work better on their careers, and in that party you see somebody else, this child who's doing better academically, let's say. And you say, well, look at this person, why don't you study like him or her? You can do it. You start to lecture that child in a party. What you're saying may be true. It may even be beneficial. It may be factual. Of course, it's unendearing and it's disagreeable to them, but there has to be a proper sense of time for choosing those words. Now is not the time. If you want to get your point across, wait till the person is ready to receive it. I read a quote once that some people are so brutally honest or so brutally truthful. It seems they enjoy more being brutal than being truthful. So there is a way of saying what you want to say. And all it takes is a bit of sensitivity. How would I like to hear if I were in the other person's shoes? To create any new habit, it takes 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, a new neural pathway is created in the brain, and that becomes your new method of dealing with things. Anything you want to do in life, whether that's dropping anger or being mindful, if you can do it successfully for 6 weeks as a matter of just commitment and discipline, you'll be able to carry it through for the rest of your life. First 6 weeks will always be the challenge. In the case of the words that are true, factual, beneficial, endearing, and agreeable, what does the Tathagata do with them? There was one more. I have to cover that first. In fact, when the words are true, factual, unbeneficial, endearing, and agreeable, the person loves to hear what you want to tell them. They agree with you. The words are true, factual, but they don't benefit the person at this point in time. The Tathagata does not say such words. And the best example I can give you is if you are a coach and you are training somebody to play, let's say an archer, and she is about to compete in the Olympics, and she's there, and while she's aiming, taking aim, and you tell her, you are a very good archer, I'm sure you'll make it. In the middle of her concentration, the words are true, the words are factual. The words are not beneficial at this time though. She would love to hear what you've just told her, coming from a coach. She even agrees, but it is not going to help her. Right? Why say such words? It all comes down to choice of time. When are you saying what you're saying? Somebody comes home really tired in the evening. Wait till the person rests a bit, or wait till the morning, or wait till the weekend, till you really want to give it back to him or her, and just let them take a breather. They've had enough during the day. Everybody comes home to relax. If there is no peace at home, where will you go? Right? I think home is one such environment where you have to keep it peaceful as a matter of commitment. So in the case of the words that are true, factual, beneficial, endearing, and agreeable. Now all 5 are there. What do you think? Will the Tathagata say such words? He says, when the words are true, factual, beneficial, endearing, and agreeable, the Tathagata has a proper sense of time for saying those words. Even those words that meet the full criteria, they need to be delivered in a sensitive and in a timely fashion. And then comes the most beautiful line. Why? He says. Why does the Tathagata exercises a sense of time for saying those words? Because the Tathagata has compassion for all the living beings. So in any case, doesn't matter what you're about to say, it helps to take a pause, step back for a moment, and reflect on, is this what I want to say?